But first, both of the perceived frontrunners in the Liberal Party's race for a new leader have officially confirmed their bids. Former Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland said in a sparsely worded post this morning, "I'm running to fight for Canada." She says her team will have more to say in the coming days. And the announcement comes one day after former central banker Mark Carney launched his campaign in Edmonton. Tessa Bennett has been following this story for us all week. Good evening, Tessa.
Good evening, Manisa. Just a few days shy of the deadline to enter, the race for Justin Trudeau's vacant spot in the Liberal Party is taking shape. The speculation is over. Former Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland is running to be the next leader of the Liberal Party. On Friday, Freeland put a news release out that was straight to the point, "I'm running to fight for Canada." Her team is planning a full campaign launch for over the weekend. It comes just one day after economist and former central banker Mark Carney kickstarted his own campaign.
I know I'm not the usual suspect when it comes to politics. But this is no time for politics as usual.
So far, 2 cabinet ministers and at least 1 MP have thrown their support behind the former deputy PM, but the majority of ministers have not yet weighed in on who they might support in this leadership race.
What you need to do to win within the party is different from what you need to do to win an election. We might see that both of these candidates who are quite centrist in their orientation, sort of trying to out-centrist each other to get the votes of card-carrying members of the Liberal Party.
After cabinet ministers Dominic LeBlanc and Melanie Joly both bowed out of the race, Carney and Freeland became the front-runners. The pair come from similar backgrounds in finance, though Carney has dubbed himself an outsider in this race. Freeland was closely tied to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government until very recently and has since tried to distance herself from it. In her resignation letter posted online, she emphasized the difference in opinions she and Trudeau had and has since doubled down, saying she would scrap the controversial carbon tax policy she helped the Trudeau government introduce.
It's not a great policy politically, and we know from research that it's not a great policy in terms of reducing emissions. So studies from carbon pricing policies around the world have shown that the effects of carbon pricing on emissions are limited.
When it comes to other issues, incoming President Donald Trump is also top of mind, and whether these candidates have what it takes to face him head on.
Freeland has experience in this area. Right? And I think she has pretty good experience and good savvy when it comes to this. The challenge is that Trump knows her. And from everything I have read, my impression is that he's not all that impressed. You're looking at a scale, and I'd say it's even because there's pros and cons on both levels.
Once the campaigning period officially begins, Canada will hear more from each candidate about their platforms, but Western University's Political Science Department Chair, Laura Stevenson, says it's going to be an uphill battle for the Liberal Party, regardless of who wins the vacant spot.
Do I expect the polls to shift dramatically after the outcome of this race? No.
Freeland has made some suggestions about what she would do as leader, including a response to Trump's tariffs. She's expected to say more about her campaign on Sunday.